Welcome or welcome back to my channel. It is great to see you. Today, I have 5 outdoor DIYs for you using mostly Dollar Tree items, and this is a collaboration, and I'll tell you a little more about that later. But for now, let's get started. On a recent trip to our local Goodwill, I got this metal flower for $4, and it's really cute just the way it is. I love the colors, but I wanted to do something a little more to it. So I'm going to start off with my Waverly paint called Ocean. It's the deepest blue that I have, and I'm going to start doing the innermost part of each petal, but on the middle pieces, I'm going to do the whole thing because they're so teeny tiny. And you'll see here, I'm going to go real fast so I won't bore you, although this is kind of fun painting to watch, at least for me anyway. But you'll notice I'm doing the inner part of each petal going all the way around till I reach those outer petals. Then I'm going to grab some more chalk paint in the color Peacock. Gosh, I love this color so much. It's gorgeous. And I'm going to start where I left off and push out more on each petal, like kind of going halfway almost. And I'm not trying to be perfect. It's a little messy because it's really kind of a blending technique that I'm trying to do here. And I think this is so fun because I'm loving these colors together. They're so vibrant and bright. And so you can do this 2 ways. And you'll see as we move on where you could stop if you liked it one way and I went on because I like it a different way. Now I'm going to take Agave, which is one of my favorite colors that Waverly has, and I'm going to put that all the way out to the edge of each petal, all the way around every single one of them. Now you can make your flower any color combination you want. I just tried to use kind of the blues to give it that peacock look, but this would be gorgeous with yellows and oranges and reds, or any other combination. You could do whatever you like, whatever fits your yard area, or just the colors that you prefer. I love vibrant colors in the summer outside. It makes me happy. So that's what I like to see when I'm outside. As I mentioned earlier, once I finished these petals and these colors, you could literally stop right here and it would be super bright and vibrant. Now I wanted to give it a little bit of sparkle, just a little, more. So now I'm going to go back to the ocean color and I'm going to dry brush it all over. That blends everything perfectly. It's very subtle and it just ties it together. And I'm going to take the metallic gold from Folk Art and I'm going to take that and I'm going to dry brush around the edges of each of the flower petals. I love the plaid products. They do the Waverly and the Folklore, and I'm an ambassador for them, so I'll put some links down in the description box below. And when I get in towards the smaller petals, I realize it's going to bleed everywhere. So I'm going to get out one of my Arteza paint markers in the color gold so I can be very specific on the edges of the smaller flowers, and I love the way it looks. I think I even go all the way to the ends with it. Imagine how that's going to pick up the sunlight. It's almost iridescent. It's going to look so beautiful. I mean, it could look great inside or outside. I am loving the way this looks right now, but I felt like I needed to give it a teeny bit more depth. So I'm going to, first of all, take the ocean blue and get those outer wire petals and just give them, instead of that plain green that it was, I just painted them in blue. And now I'm going to take my ink, which is black from Waverly, and I'm going to put it just very lightly all over like a dry brush coming from the center of each petal. Again, adding just a little bit of dimension as if there were shadows in there because they're kind of folded up a little bit. And I love it. And I'm going to do the same thing to the outside. I'm just going to kind of touch it up with the black around the edges. And again, give it that iron look, which it's metal, but I wanted it to look almost like iron. And I love it. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I hope you guys like it. As I mentioned earlier, today's video is a collaboration that's called What Month Is It? And of course, this is May. I am the special guest host, but our host is Tammy from Happiness Created. There are also 2 co-hosts, Sun's Art and MBGray Designs. I'll have all their channel links down below. I hope you will go visit them. And if you're coming from one of their channels, welcome. It's great to meet you. And thank you for watching my video. Here's all the information on this collab. This is an open collab, so anyone who does DIYs and crafting on YouTube can join in. And Tammy does this every single month. I hope you'll check it out. In honor of the month of May, I am doing all outdoor DIYs because this is the first month of the year that we really start going outside and hanging out in the sunshine. So I hope that you enjoy. And a big thank you to Tammy for inviting me to join this month. This DIY, you need 4 of those little terracotta pots. They're 4 inches, and I got them at Walmart. I actually had 3 at the moment, so my husband is running out to get me a 4th one. Some succulents, a little plant hanger, and the little coconut basket thing. I don't know what that's called that you put inside the plant hanger. And those items are all from Dollar Tree. I'm going to remove the chain because I'm not going to be hanging this. And I'm literally going to put it over the top, like upside down basically. And I'm going to use some rope. I'm going to stab some holes around the outside where each of the little wires are. And I'm going to tie it on because I want to make it nice and secure. I didn't have like a really big needle and thread, so what I did was I just took the little scissors and I kind of pinched the end of the jute twine on that and I fed it through. So I was just careful not to cut it when I did that, and it worked really well actually. Now, you may not know what I'm making yet. Of course, I haven't told you either, but I'm using these little styrofoam balls that I got. I want to say at Walmart, they were like 6 for less than $2. I'm pretty sure it was Walmart. Anyway, I'm using my utility blade and I'm cutting it because I need to make a head and a tail. Yes, if you've guessed right, it's going to be a turtle topiary. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so cute. So I'm just kind of figuring out what a turtle head would look like shape-wise. So I've got a little neck coming out and I'm hot gluing that on. And then I'm going to use some twine and using that wire on the plant holder thing, I'm just going to kind of secure it around because I'm not sure if the hot glue is really going to work enough, so I just want to make sure. So I'm also going to put hot glue under every little piece of that twine just to be extra careful. And then I'm going to get that other ball and I'm going to cut it and kind of make it look like a turtle head. Don't ask me what a turtle head's supposed to look like because I'm just guessing. Anyway, it kind of does look like one when I'm done. And I'm going to tie that one on as well with the jute twine, hot glue it, and then I'm going to work my way around to the tail and cut a narrower piece of the foam and do the same exact thing. I have some Spanish moss, a really large bag that I got at Walmart, and some tacky glue that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use that and just brush it all on the styrofoam head and tail and attach the Spanish moss. I'm also going to use some fabric adhesive spray to help the moss stay down because the tacky glue is only working directly on the styrofoam, but when I wanted to add more on top, I needed to do something extra. Now, I really wanted it to be a bright green, but I didn't have that kind of moss. So I'm going to go ahead and use the moss I have, and then I'm going to take some Waverly's color Fern, and I'm going to turn it into green. See, you do what you can with what you have. And actually, it does turn out really good. So you just have to, it's a mess. That's the only thing. Using a small brush, and I'm just kind of like splattering it everywhere. And when I say that, I mean literally, it started getting on all kinds of things. If you notice, all of a sudden my paper got dirty, everything. Now I'm going to build up the inside because I need a place to put the feet, which those little terracotta pots are. So by this time, my husband has gotten back with the extra one, and he got it at Walmart, but it was just shy of 4 inches. So I had to put something on it to try to make up for the difference. That was a little challenging, but we made it work. It just looks like the little turtle's walking now, like he's got one leg up, like he's taking a step. And I'm using some shipping filler, like that was in a box, that surrounding equipment, and I just cut it to fit inside. And I'm using a lot of hot glue to secure it. But for the legs, I'm going to use a combination of E6000 and hot glue, making sure they don't touch each other, because I heard if you let the hot glue touch the E6000, it starts cooling off the hot glue too fast. So that's why I don't. And I'm holding it down, gluing it in place, and I'm actually going to do that with all 4 of the pots. And on the one that was slightly short, I'm putting some of the tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. Once the legs are on, I am poking holes through the top using a screwdriver, and I am attaching the succulent. And I think the turtle turned out really cute. You'll have to let me know what you think. I've never made anything like this. He's just adorable. If you are enjoying this video, I would ask you to hit that like button. It helps me by telling YouTube to show my video to more people. So thank you. I found this piece of metal decor at the Goodwill, and it had a little burlap flower in the middle, which I didn't think was going to be great for outside. So I just popped it right off. It came off super easily. Now I decided I wanted to make a kind of a whimsical butterfly that had all different random colors on it. So I started with peacock, and then I put some crimson on there. These are Waverly chalk paint colors. And at some point I'm going to add maize, which is like a yellow. And I'm literally just randomly placing it all around the different parts of the butterfly. No rhyme or reason, just trying not to put them all right next to each other with the same color. Now the maize color didn't cover quite as well, so I did a second coat of that one because I wanted the yellow to be a little bit brighter. I was really having fun with this, just, putting the colors wherever I wanted and just kind of relaxing. It was really enjoyable to do this. Painting is very relaxing. And now I'm going to take some of the metallic gold by Folklore, and I want to get some shimmer on here because remember, it's going to be outside and it really will pick up that light. So now I'm doing the gold in a bunch of different places. This did take several coats because again, it's a little thinner, and so it took me probably 3 coats wherever I put the gold to get that to really cover the original color on this butterfly. As I was painting, I realized I really didn't like the red as much as I originally thought, so I took out my ocean color, which is a very beautiful blue, and I decided to cover every area where there was red, and now I really think the colors go together better. It matches a little better with the other piece that I have for outside, and I'm really loving this look here. I'll use my heat tool to make sure that the entire thing is dry before I move on to the next step, and of course all my tools are in my Amazon store linked below. Now I'm going to take just a black marker and I'm going to do the little body. I decided that it needed a little more definition, so I'm just going to cover that part in the black, and I love the way that looks, and I'm going to dry that off too. The next thing I'm going to do is take my agave color, and I'm going to just add a little bit of that in different places. I felt like I needed another shade of blue in there, and I just absolutely love it. I didn't want there to be too much of any one color, and this really takes care of that for me. And then I did little touch-ups here and there. And now I'm going to take my gold again, the metallic gold from Folklore, and I'm going to put it on a little chippy brush and dry brush it, putting a very small amount on my brush, wiping most of it off, and then dragging it across. You guys, I love this one. It looks so beautiful outside. I can't wait for you to see it. In the fall, I made some porch sitters, and I'm going to make another one. I had an extra piece of wood left, and it has already been painted white with primer, and I'm going to go over it with another coat now, and I'm just going to make it a brighter white. Now obviously this board is a lot bigger than my crafting desk, so I had to kind of set up a little stand here for it to be on, and I'm just standing up in the room, and you'll see my dogs walking around. And after I'm done painting, I did use my heat tool. I ordered these really cool decals on Amazon, and I'm going to put Mod Podge down first so there's a smoother surface for the decals to stick on, and they're just sticky on the back. You just peel them off, and I'm placing them right on top of that Mod Podge after it dries, and then I'm going to actually put Mod Podge over the top of every decal that I use because I want to seal this since it's going to be outside. And I am using the Aleene's decoupage, premium decoupage. I don't know what it is. It's like Mod Podge. It's just a different brand, and it costs a little less, and you get a bigger bottle. And I have these stencil letters that I have used before on the last porch sitter I did. That's why there's paint on them. And I'm just going to position for the word welcome. And they're really cool font. I really like it. I actually ripped the E, so I had to use some tape to kind of put it back together again. But hey, it worked. And I'm going to put Mod Podge underneath that also. And I heard that helps with bleeding, so I'm going to try this. So I'm going to have to tape them down one letter at a time. because of the tape. It's going to put too much spacing between the letters, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to do one at a time. And I got this paint sample from Lowe's. It's really pretty, kind of sage color, light sage, and it's a Valspar paint. This is a regular house paint, and I cut off the end of a little foam brush just so I could have a little like spongy thing to dab it on. I couldn't find my regular dabbers. And then I'm holding down the parts of the stencil that stick up a little. And I'm just going carefully. And I'm going to do the first 2 letters a little bit slower, and then I'll speed this up because you don't need to see me do the same thing over and over and over again. And here's the big reveal to see if this worked. And I'm really excited. It did. So now I'm moving on to the E and just positioning so I know exactly how far apart. And then I'll tape that on. I've seen on Pinterest where people are putting on their welcome signs, welcome-ish. So I found some letters that are stickers from the Dollar Tree, and I did the ISH on the bottom. I think it's so cute. And part of it is like you're saying, you're welcome, depending on how long you stay and depending on who you are. So anyway, I just thought that was kind of a good laugh, and I like it. So I'm covering those letters with Mod Podge, and now I'm taking that sage paint, and I'm going to take a little art brush, and I'm going to fill in all the letters a little darker because I intentionally was dabbing very lightly so I wouldn't bleed. So now I'm just going to go back and fill in all the letters, and also the O has a little break in it, and that's not really a style I like, so I'm just going to fill that in. It was the only one that had it, so that was kind of funny. And now I really like the way they look. I think they came out great. And more Mod Podge because I'm going to add another decal on the bottom. This particular roll of decals that I ordered on Amazon came with a bunch of gorgeous florals and a bunch of butterflies. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to position the florals and the butterflies all over this sign and just kind of wherever I think it looks pretty. There's no rhyme or reason, and then I cover each and every single one of them with more of, it's not really Mod Podge, I keep calling it that, but you guys know what I mean. What if I say aliens? Nobody's going to know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to keep calling it Mod Podge, even though we know it's not. Shh, don't tell anyone. And now I'm going to put some more of that down, put the bigger decals and then some more butterflies. And then when I'm all done with that, I'm going to put that Mod Podge over the word welcome because I want to seal that paint as well. I will probably at some point need to go back and deal with the edges because I did not do that, but I want to make this a 2-sided porch sign at some point, and I wasn't ready to do that today. So I left that part to be done the next time I do the backside. And the backside will probably be for summer. I am really loving how this is turning out, and I hope you guys like it. It's also very welcoming. So, well, welcoming-ish, right? Little green planter at the Dollar Tree along with these lace doilies, and then this is some spackle, and I think I got that at the hardware store because I needed a larger amount. And I'm going to take the spackle, I'm going to dish it into a little bowl, and I'm going to add some water and mix it up to kind of like a cake frosting consistency. I guess that's the best way to describe it. You have to be careful though, because if you let it sit for too long it gets hard, and then you have to add more water, and I kind of had to play with it because I had let it sit maybe a little too long while I was preparing the little planter. The technique I'm going to use on this today, I learned watching TikTok. It was really a cool thing. So I'm going to take my sanding sponge from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to sand every part of the outside and then about maybe a couple inches into the inside as well. And if you've noticed, I have holes in the bottom. I had used this little planter last year for a real plant. And now I'm going to take my Kills white primer and I'm going to paint everywhere that I sanded because I needed something for the paint to stick to, and that shiny plastic is not great for that. So it's sticking really well with this, and this is kind of my base coat. So when I first started out, I thought, oh, I better tape down the doily. No, not even necessary. So I went to all this trouble, applied the spackle mix, and I guess because it was sitting so firmly on there, it ended up ripping the doily. So then I had to do some touch-up work. So going forward, you'll notice I don't bother taping it down. I just lay it where I want it, rub the spackle stuff over it using a brush, and when I take it off, I get this really cool texture, which you haven't seen yet because I'm having to peel that off. There it is. How cool is that? It looks like pottery. So now I'm just, look at that. I'm just holding the thing down and painting on the spackle. And then in a second, I'm just going to lift it up and it works so much faster. And I must have spent 10 minutes taping that stuff down. So if you decide to try this, don't bother taping. It works so much better if you don't. So now all I'm doing is just cutting out the paper doily and putting it wherever I want and just creating little like random shapes and designs and just having fun with it, and it's really cool. And now I'm going to take that green paint and a little bit of this warm buff by Apple Barrel. So first I'm going to paint all around that spackle technique thing with that green, and then I'm going to go back with the other color over just the raised parts. Now, a few of you have asked me about these brushes that I use, and it's called DIY Arts. I got them from my daughter as a Christmas present, but I know where she got them. They are awesome. There's blending, and there's pointy, there's all different kinds, and this one is real pointy, so it's easy for me to get in there without knocking off those little pieces of spackle that I put on there. Now I'm going to mix a little bit of the Burnt Umber and the Warm Buff by Apple Barrel to create a distress look, and I'm going to a little more than dry brush. And the reason I'm not too worried about it is that I could go back over it with the green. It did get a little heavy-handed, but I wasn't sure how it was going to look until I did it, so I'm happy with it. Now I'm going to use my rose gold metallic paint by Folklore, and I'm just going to go in on those raised pieces. I want to give it that little bit of shine, and I think that rose gold color goes the best with what I'm doing here, and I'm loving it. I really do, and I think when it's outside and the sun hits, it's going to be really pretty. I'm really loving how this technique turned out in the end, and I wasn't sure. Took it outside, sprayed a clear glaze, and it's done. I received this package of an Adirondack chair and a little side table from EFURDEN, and they are a website that specializes in outdoor furniture, and I guess they definitely focus on being environmentally friendly, and they just want people to, enjoy their furniture. So I said I would be happy to receive it. I am not being paid for this. It is not sponsored, and my opinion on this product is completely my own and not influenced at all. I would not do that. It's very easy to assemble. It came with instructions, came with all of the screws that you need, a little Allen wrench, everything. Very easy. The hardest part was I probably needed another set of hands once in a while just to hold something in place for me, but I made it work. I mean, it wasn't that bad. And of course, I've sped this up just a little bit and chopped it up a bit because you don't need to see all of it. I just wanted you to see how easy it really was to put together. I did get to pick the color I wanted, and I love that blue. It's almost like a kind of a turquoise blue. I don't know. I really like it. I love colorful things in the summer and in the spring. And so I'm just using, everything is with the Allen wrench. You don't have to have any other tools at all, which is wonderful. And the large pieces like the seat and the back were already assembled. So I only had to just put those together, put the arms on it and the supports. So again, super, super easy. And after I was all done putting it together, I sat in it and it was very comfortable. I love it because it forces you to sit back a little so your back is supported, and I really like that. Oftentimes I slouch a little bit, and so without a back support, that's not good for you. Anyway, it was actually very hot outside and humid, and I had my hair mostly down. So you'll see at some point here, I can't take it anymore, and I put my hair up in a bun. And if I'm making funny faces, it's because I'm actually hot and there were some mosquitoes out, and I do not like them because they love me. So anyway, that's what the funny faces are for. I'm just getting frustrated with them. And there was a little cat that lives at our house here, and he was sitting out just out of the camera range, and I was talking to him every so often. So this thing is really taking shape. It is almost done. In fact, there we go. This is the last piece. This is the back. And it was that easy, honestly. I do love putting things together, so it's not like I've never done that before, but I did find this to be very easy. This was the part where I could have maybe used another set of hands. This was very durable. It was high quality, and I definitely think that it's a very nice piece. I think it would be worth having. I am almost considering if I need to get a second one so I have two chairs in my backyard, because I really do like it a lot. And these are just the last couple pieces, and then I will be all done. So I just have to do one more little end here. So overall, I really do like this chair. It was a very good price. I will have a link down below, and as soon as I get it from them, I will have a discount code. If it's not there when you watch this video, come back to get it, because that way you can get it for a better price. But it's really cute, and I really do like it. I've always loved Adirondack chairs, so this is very, very cool. I love the color. They had several colors you could choose from, but I just loved the blue or turquoise, whatever this is. And the little side table, I didn't show you how I assembled it, because literally you just put the 4 legs on and the 4 little supports. It was so easy. It took me like less than 10 minutes. I hope you like them. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will come back again, and I want you to know that you are truly a blessing to me. I'll have the collaboration playlist down in my description box below. I'm going to have a couple other videos up here on the screen. If you like this one, I hope you'll click on one of those and watch that next. And if you do, I'll see you there. Bye.